Hi, welcome to Nomis Academy. In this video, we'll be dealing with completing the square method. So we need to learn the processes involved in completing the square method as a method to solve quadratic equations. So let's get started. So you should recall that the form of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So this is the form of quadratic equation. And just this form of quadratic equation, the process of using it to find the root of a quadratic equation helps us to end up having the almighty formula that we all know. So the almighty formula is a formula that is gotten from this form of quadratic equation, this form ax squared plus bx plus c. So how is the almighty formula gotten from this form of quadratic equation? It is the use of completing the square method. So it is using this um, completing the square method. So let's get started. How can the method be used to have the almighty formula and the process, and its process can be used to solve quadratic equation? So let's get started. So what we need to do is to use the completing the square method to generate the almighty formula, and then mention the steps that the same steps can be used to solve quadratic equation. So let's take them one after the other. Step number one, take the constant c to the right hand side of the equation. Take the constant c, take the c to the right hand side of the equation Remember, what we are doing now is completing the square method, and I just told you what we are going to arrive at, that this form of quadratic equation will give us almighty formula, and the process is completing the square method. And these are the process now is to make just x the subject of the formula, making x the subject of the formula. So this becomes ax squared plus bx equal to minus c. Now that I've gotten here, divide both sides by the coefficient of x squared. Divide both sides by the coefficient of x squared. So that's the second step. So the second step says I should divide. Let me write it down. Let's write it down so that we note the steps and the process of completing the square method. Divide both sides. Divide both sides by the coefficient of x squared. So the coefficient of x squared is a. So that's ax squared divided by a plus bx divided by a equal to minus c all over a. So we know that this cancel this. We are left with x squared plus bx all over a equals to minus c all over a. So the next step now is step 3. Step 3 says add the square of half of the coefficient of x to both sides. Add the square of half. Add the square of half of the coefficient of x to both sides. What's the coefficient of x? b all over a. So remember that this is x squared plus b all over a x equals to minus c over a. So to the both sides, you must add the square of the half. So how do we get that done? First of all, let's find the half. So the coefficient of x is b all over a. What is the half of b all over a? That's multiplied by 1 all over 2. So the half is now b times 1 is b, a times 2 is 2a. So this is the half of the coefficient of x. So let us square it now. We square it. So this is the square of the half of the coefficient of x. So let us add it to both sides. So that means that this becomes x squared plus b all over ax plus, now that square of half we want to add, b all over 2a all squared equal to minus c all over a plus b all over 2a all squared. So we can see that we have added the half of the square to both sides. Now let us begin to expand and see what we can do around it. So this is x squared plus, this can become b all over 2a x plus b all over 2a x. This b all over a x is equal to b all over 2a x plus b all over 2a x. Do you understand it? Oh no. Okay, let me explain. This particular part is equal to this. We just expanded it. Why? Because we want to factorize something similar to what we have here. That is why we have to expand this b all over ax to be in form of b all over 2ax plus b all over 2x. If you add this together, you're going to have, let's quickly do that roughly. The LCM of 2a and 2a is 2a. So 2a divided by 2a is 1. 1 times bx, we have bx plus 2a divided by 2a is 2a. So is 1. 1 times bx is bx. So this becomes bx plus bx, that is 2bx all over 2a. So if you divide 2 by 2, you are left with b all over as. So you can see that this is the same thing as this. So we just expanded it to make it look like something that we have here, such that we can factorize it. So I believe you understood what I did in that part. So now that we have that part, so we come to this side, say okay, plus open bracket b all over 2a all squared equal to minus c all over a plus b all over 2a all squared. So now that we have this, we can factorize it, because we now have b all over 2a x plus b all over 2x. So we have x in common, so we can factorize x all over x plus b all over 2a, right? Now I can say plus, what do I have here in common? I have b all over 2a in common, b all over 2a in common. So I will factorize b all over 2a out into bracket x, because if I multiply this by this, I'll have this, right? Then what will I multiply with this to give me this? Then I'll multiply b all over 2a, right? B all over 2a, because this multiplied by this gives me the square of it, so it will be plus b all over 2a. So I just factorize it, is equal to minus c over a plus b all over 2a all squared. So now that I factorize it, you see difference of 2 squared, so you just pick one. So you have x plus b all over 2a x plus b all over 2a. So this is what we end up having at this side entirely, is equal to minus c all over a plus b all over 2a all squared. So what are we going to do next is to add it together. So this particular part now gives us x plus b all over 2a in two places, right? Equal to, so what do I do here? I find the LCM of a and 2a. So the LCM of a and 2a is okay, let's expand this. So this becomes minus c all over a plus this will be b squared all over 4a squared. So now that we've expanded that part, we can continue to say x plus b all over 2a all squared is equals to, the LCM of this will be 4a, right? Will be 4a squared. So if I say 4a squared divided by a, what are we going to have? 4a squared divided by a to be 4a. So this will be minus 4ac because I multiply it by that c. So 4a squared divided by a will be 4a. Now 4a minus c, I will multiply by minus c, is minus 4ac plus 4a squared divided by 4a squared is 1. So multiply by b squared, we now have b squared. So from here, we can square root both sides, right? We can square root the both side. So when we square root the both side, what do we have? Let's get it down. Okay, when we square root both sides, let's do it from here. Square root both sides. Square root both sides. So this cancel this squared. This square root cancel this square. So we now have x plus b over 2a. X plus b all over 2a is equal to the square root minus 4ac plus b squared all over 4a squared. So this is what we have left now. Now, if I must find the square root of this place, it could be plus or minus, right? So if I have minus times minus, to give me plus. If I have plus times plus, to give me minus. So that must be indicated that it could be plus and it could be minus. So if you want to find the square root, if you ask somebody, what is the square root of 4? And they said 2. Is it only 2? Minus 2 is the square root of 4 because minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 will give you 4. So it can either be plus or minus. That is how it is calculated. So now that we have x plus b all over 2a plus or minus the square root of minus 4ac plus b squared all over 2a. Let us rearrange it to make it look like something that is familiar. X plus b all over 2a is equals to plus or minus now the square root of b squared. Have I changed anything? No. I just brought this earlier before this. So it is positive. So it's still b squared minus 4ac now all over the square root, because this square root covers for everything. Now I just separated it. Now I have 4a squared. So this becomes x plus b all over 2a is equals to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of a squared is a. So this is how we now have x equal to, this goes to that side, minus b all over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now we will take the LCM. X is equals to, the LCM is 2a. 2a divided by 2a is 1. 1 times minus b is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. So you can see how we arrived at this almighty formula. So the almighty formula says x is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is how completing the square method has helped us to analyze the form of quadratic equation to be solved using almighty formula. So the process in doing all of this is completing the square method. The same completing the square method can be used to solve quadratic equation as simple as it is given, quadratic equation. I hope you understood every step in using completing the square method to solve quadratic equation. See you in the next video. Bye bye.